Hello friends, my name is Marinas, and today I'll be talking to you about some plans that I have for January. So at the very beginning of 2016, I decided that I wasn't going to make TBR videos anymore, and that worked out incredibly well for me last year. I've mentioned in the last couple of videos, but things got crazy in terms of work and school and travel and all of that. So having the flexibility of no TBR and being able to just pick up things as they came and as I wanted to really worked well with what my schedule and my life was like last year. I am thinking and hoping that 2017 will be a little more stable for me, and so what I kind of want to do is find a midway point between the traditional TBR and no TBR, which are the two things that I've done. And basically I just want to talk to you month to month about some things that are on my radar, some general plans that I have for books but other media as well, and just in life in general. My reread for January is going to be My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. Last year I started a project where I was rereading a book a month, and I invited you guys to join me in a buddy read, whether you were reading it for the first time or not. I did this for 6 months or so, and then it just kind of fell by the wayside because of said craziness, but I really want to pick it up again because it helped to direct my rereading, and at the same time I got to buddy read with a bunch of amazing people. I read this in January of last year, and I've essentially wanted to reread it since I read it, because as the series goes on you really realize how much Ferrante laid down in this first book, and I enjoyed it so much that I just wanted to read it anyways. I know that this book starts off a little slower, and it kind of hits this line where all of a sudden you're invested all the way in and you inhale the rest. So it'll be interesting to see how people see the first half of this book, where they kind of get into it, and what that line is for them personally. I will link the Goodreads group down in the description where you can also join the buddy read, and again it is very relaxed, so there's not a schedule or anything. Basically for the month of January we'll be reading this, so you can fit it into your reading whenever you want, and come and chat in the forum whenever you get a chance. This book starts off the series, which is the story of Lenu and Lila, two girls who grow up together in Naples, and they've got this sort of friendship that is at the center of the story, and it is sometimes great and sometimes codependent and sometimes kind of like a frenemy relationship, and it is the thing that carries the story through its completion. And Ferrante is just this kind of smart and entertaining and witty reader that makes her perfect for a buddy read. I buddy read this with Max when I originally read it, and we talked about it for days and days and days. So I'm really excited about this one, if you guys can't tell, and I hope you guys will join me during this read in January. As I mentioned in my goals video, I have a project that involves reading in genres where I don't usually, and those are manga and romance, and my manga pick for January is Emma Volume 1. I actually also have Fruit Basket Volume 1, and I have the second volumes for both of these where I could continue if I find myself super invested. But I think I'm gonna go with Emma. I have options here just in case, but I'm thinking Emma's gonna be my pick, specifically because this is a romance story as well. I don't know anything about Fruit Basket, but I do know that this one is about a wealthy man who falls in love with his servant. I'm also doing a Booktuber Recommends project, and I asked 12 people to recommend books for me, and I'm going to be picking them as I go, just kind of based on what is available from the library, since I'm not buying books if I don't have it already, and also just kind of my reading mood in general. So my first pick for the month comes from Lainey from Ginger Reads Lainey. I asked Lainey to recommend a book for me because, number one, I love her. She is one of the people that I feel like I've been able to get closest to here on Booktube. We've been able to go to a few events together, Y'all Fest twice and BEA one time, so I've got to spend a lot of in real life time with Lainey, and I love her to pieces. She is one of the funniest people that I know, and she's also got a great channel, so if you don't know about Lainey's channel already for whatever reason, I will have a link to her channel down in the description. You should definitely check her out. I also love to hear Lainey talk about books and writing, because she is very aware of the things that she likes and the things that work for her, and I feel like she is very expressive with the things that she likes and dislikes, and she's not afraid to tell you both ends of the spectrum, which is something I obviously appreciate. Her rec for me was The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon, and I'm very excited to get to this. I've actually actually had this book since BEA because I got it as an ARC, and I was never attracted or pulled to read it because I don't always do well with YA contemporaries. But since then, I've started to hear so many wonderful things about this book, about the representation in it, about the story, and how lovely it is. So I'm excited to read this, especially because I also got to see Lainey gush about it a couple times in person during Y'all Fest. So I know she loves this book. I've heard very good things about it, and I'm excited to pick this one up in January. Other than that, my reading is pretty open for this month. There's nothing really that I have in mind that I'm going to pick up. Maybe Blue Lily Blue, because I did reread the first 2 books in the Raven cycle so that I could continue pretty immediately on in that series. You've got to kind of keep up with it, because if not, I feel like I lose the thread of the story and I'm taken out of the atmosphere. So I kind of want to read those pretty quickly now that I've finished rereading The Dream Thieves. But other than that, my reading is pretty open. Over on Snark Squad, we are starting to write the Breaking Dawn recap. So this is the final Twilight book, and we've now been recapping these for 1.5 years. So we are super excited about finishing this project. I will be reading slowly through that. I started at the tail end of December, and it will take us like 1 to 2 months to get through it. So I'll be reading that slowly as well. And the after recaps are still going strong. I think we're going to have to pick up the pace eventually on after. Right now we're doing 2 chapters per week, but the chapters are like literally 2 to 3 pages long. I have no idea who made that decision and why. It is the worst. But if we want to finish these recaps before retirement age, we're probably going to have to recap more than 2 a week. But we'll see how that goes. In new show news, and to talk a little bit about what I'll be watching in January, we are picking up a new show on Snark Squad, and I know we have so much to finish, and we are working on a plan to kind of finish that up in 2017 in a very specific way. But I am picking up a new show in January specifically because it is based on a book, and hello, can I resist? It's a series of unfortunate events on Netflix. It all gets released on January 13th, I believe, and I didn't check that before recording, so hopefully that's right, because if not, I'll have to correct that in the comments. But it's around that time, and then I'm going to try and recap them as quickly as possible after they are released. So that's what I'll be watching for the most part in January. In personal life stuff, January marks the start of recruitment season for me at my job, and essentially we visit a bunch of college campuses in January, February, March, in through April to recruit for a very specific program in the industry that I'm in. So that's going to probably start towards the tail end of January. I don't have my travel schedule yet, but it can get kind of crazy depending on how many schools the company wants to visit. So as that becomes clear, I'll probably talk about that whole experience. It's the first time I'm doing it because it's my first year at this job. So I'll talk about the experience of kind of visiting college campuses across the United States and how that goes. I'm really excited for it, but I'm also a little bit nervous. I am in person. I can be very shy, especially at first. I am an introvert, so there are a lot of things that make this kind of worrisome, but at the same time, I love traveling. I like to meet new people once I kind of get in the groove of it. It can add a little bit of complication to my schedule, but I'm hoping that it just doesn't really take off and that we're not going to visit too many schools this year. So we'll see how all of that goes. I'll keep you guys posted, probably on Twitter. That's it for me today. If you guys are planning on reading or watching any of the things I mentioned, let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys soon. As I mentioned in my goals video, which I just recorded in this very same outfit,